Hello dear viewer, your perfectly normal friend Murdoch X here, and today we're going to talk about my collection update for the month of April 2019. I've added 31 new games to my collection, although 3 of them are Japanese games, so those don't count towards my attempt to collect every game released in North America. So 28 new games added to the collection for the total, plus 3 Japanese games, which I haven't even played yet because I can't capture the footage, so I'm going to hold off until I can. So let's jump right into it. The Northern Dawn Society is watching me. First up, we have Devil May Cry 3 Dante's Awakening. I already own Devil May Cry 3, the Anniversary Edition, but I consider this a separate title because they changed a lot for this re-release. I guess this specific title had some difficulty issues, so the Anniversary Edition was tweaked to be a little bit easier, but they also added a lot of new features in the Anniversary Edition, so now I have the original hard version of the game. Fantastic. 187 Ride or Die. This is not a bad game. It's basically a kart racer, but with guns. The PS2 had a lot of bad kart racer games, so this is a nice change of pace. 007 From Russia with Love. I accidentally bought this game twice. I think it's my favorite 007 game for the PS2. It has a cover system just like the others, but this title feels faster, and I like that, and I recommend it. Airblade. I heard this game was good, but I got stuck and frustrated in the first stage. It feels like it should be a Tony Hawk game, but the controls aren't as good. Then again, nothing quite holds up to the Tony Hawk games. The idea behind this game is pretty sweet though. Dude builds a hoverboard and an evil corporation is trying to steal it from him. Alvin and the Chipmunks. This is a bad rhythm game where you use the L and R buttons to match the beats. It's not fun, and I don't like seeing the Chipmunks franchise treated like this. Oh, and look at that. This game is on the 20 lowest ranked games on Metacritic. ATV Offroad Fury 2, an ATV racing game. Seems fun, but I'd need to spend more time unlocking the other vehicles to get a feel for it. The controls are solid, but I wasn't able to figure out the strategies for a win in the short amount of time that I played. In Mario Kart, you can do the drift boosts, and in this game, it seems like you have to land jumps just right, sort of like Excite Bike. Maybe. I don't know. I need to spend some time learning more about this game. First up for the Japanese games is Chaos Legions. It's an action game that has mediocre ratings. Agassi Tennis Generation, more like I'd rather not see generation. This game is dumb and ugly. Don't play it. American Shopper, customized bikes? Cool. Gameplay? Lame. This first stage just kept going and going. Don't get this game. Crap, it got a sequel on PS2. Damn it, that means I'm gonna have to play another one of these stupid games. Armored Core 2, customizable mechs unleashed onto the enemy. I'm not super into the battle system, but I'm sure that I would be after some customization. This title seems like a lot of fun. Silent Line Armored Core. This is better than the last one. It looks like the upgrades are the same, but the graphics are nicer and the controls feel more smooth this time around. Rayman Arena. There are 2 sets of games in here, the lame battle mode and the mediocre race mode. In battle mode, you run around and grab orbs and freeze your opponent from time to time and grab more orbs. Then there's the race mode, which is fun enough, kind of. This could have been good if they spent more time on it. Rabid games make me smile. This Rayman game does not. Another Japanese game that I picked up is Gungrave. The reviews for this game are all over the place. Now, this one did actually get a North American release, and I don't have it yet, so the review for this game will definitely happen whether or not I get something to capture Japanese games with. Heroes of Might and Magic Quest for the Dragon Bone Staff. This is sort of a turn-based strategy game where you recruit your fighters and run around kicking butt, but I didn't like it. I'm sure there's some kind of system where these guys are tough against those monsters, but those monsters are tough against these animals kind of strategy in here, but it just wasn't fun. Bratz, Girls Rock. I didn't play far enough in to get any of the customization stuff that makes these games good. I can't tell if this is as good as Rock Angels, but when I was researching this game, I noticed there's a lot of backlash about the message for little girls in this game, to which I say, motherfucker. The GTA games are amazing. It has nothing to do with their message to little boys, or girls, or adults. You sound like a fucking politician when you say shit like that. Games are meant to be fun, not spread some kind of moral message. Grand Theft Auto taught me to steal. Skyrim taught me to steal. Pac-Man taught me to eat my enemy. No Man's Sky taught me to never pre-order games. Fuck messages in video games. That's not what this is about. They're about having fun. I've seen games that have some kind of moral messages. They suck. They're sucky games. They're terrible video games. Mega Man Anniversary Collection. I did not think that my game capture device would work to show off gameplay here, but it did. I love Mega Man. The NES games are cheap shot little bitches, but that's sort of the fun. You have to play and replay to memorize the stages and figure out the correct order to fight the bosses in. Mega Man for life! Blowout. Okay, so this isn't as good of a Metroidvania game as Metroid or Castlevania, and it's no Contra either, but it's a fun mashup of the two styles. I would have preferred it to be a little bit faster or a bit more strategic, but they kept it simple and it works. This is a fun game, though the fun may not last for an entire game playthrough, but then again, it was released as a budget title. The name of this game didn't do it any favors though. I can't tell if it sounds like a racing game or a boxing game, but what it does not sound like is a side-scrolling platformer with guns. Dino Stalker! This game is kind of like a rail shooter, but it's not on rails. Also, it uses the gun con too, which I didn't know until after I finished playing. It's fun and I enjoyed it, but the controls when playing with the controller are a bit awkward. I think that this is a game that is better if it's played in short bursts. Kingsfield, the Ancient City. This is the 4th game in this series, but only the 3rd to get released in North America. I bought this game because it looked like it would be awesome, but while playing it, I was disappointed. After doing some research, I found out that's normal. You just have to sort of push through that and learn the game to enjoy it. The graphics are fantastic and there's no load screens. I need to give this game more time. I'm curious to see what it offers. Cars Mater National Championship. It's not bad. This game is an open world take on racing in the Disney universe. What it lacks in gameplay, it makes up for in charm and story. Now don't get me wrong, the gameplay, it's good, but there's nothing new and innovative here. Hard Hitter Tennis. It's a tennis game that's mediocre. The controls are a bit strange, but they don't take long to master. The only thing interesting about this game is that it's published by Atlas. Driven. The art style in this game is fun and everything else is horrible. I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out this game was released as a practical joke. It feels intentionally broken. High-speed crashes are no big deal, but slow-speed crashes mess your car up. On top of that, the game always tries to turn your car backwards. It's a bad game, but it feels like it's that way on purpose, sort of like Irritating Stick on the PS1. If you ever want to rage quit a game, find that title. But back to Driven. It's frustrating, but forgettable and permanently retired to my game shelf. Nicktoons Attack of the Toybots. It's a Nickelodeon platformer. It's not as good as Battle for Bikini Bottom, but few games are. What makes this game great to me is the mashup of cartoon characters interacting with each other. I know some people hate this, but it's one of my favorite things in the world. I love seeing my favorite cartoons hanging out with my other favorite cartoons. Trust me, this is way better than how we did it back in the 80s with the anti-drug videos where Garfield and the Chipmunks were hanging out and telling us to stay away from marijuana. Ghosthunter. This game is awesome. The main character is stupid and does everything wrong, but he gets to be a freaking Ghostbuster. It's spooky, it's fun, I love it, and it's, dare I say, a hidden gem. Buy this game before everyone figures out it's awesome and it gets expensive. PopCap Hits Volume 1. Yuck. It's a mobile game on the PS2. I wish this didn't exist. There is a Volume 2 and I'm sure it's just as worthless as this title. The Punisher. This is a game that was recommended to me a long time ago, but it's been hard to find. I finally ran into a physical copy at my local game store and I made it mine. This is a solid FPS style of game with a dark aesthetic and storyline. This feels a little bit like The Warriors, except that it's very linear. Another good game added to the collection. And I know that PopCap game is stinking up this video a little bit, but I got a lot of good titles this month. Seek and Destroy, one of the Chodo-Q aka Penny Racer games on the PS2. I like Chodo-Q, so I was excited to find this. that excitement is gone. I didn't like this clunky game with bad camera controls. Maybe I just need to spend more time with it like the Kingsfield game, but I don't think that will be happening anytime soon. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments what makes this a good title. Snoopy vs. the Red Baron. This is another game that I've been trying to find for a long time. It's fun. I traded some duplicates with one of the guys that I work with on PlayStation2.org. I've never run into this game in the wild, but he had 2 copies. Game collecting changes so much from region to region. Anyways, this is an air battle game starring Snoopy. It's fun, it's interesting, and the graphics are ever so pleasing. Activision Anthology. It's a bunch of old Activision Atari games with a killer 80s soundtrack. I spent most of my time playing Pitfall and Hero. I can see why Metal Jesus is super into that game. Atari is a little bit before my time, so I'm not super into this, but if you like Atari, you should absolutely get this. And the final game this month is a big one, Haunting Ground. Hey, a valuable game that's also good. I haven't played much of this, but I am enjoying it so far. Quick note, I made the mistake of buying this during tax season. The price shot up, I bought it, and now it's dropped a little. I suspect it will go up again, so I'm not mad, but I am kicking myself for not buying it a few months ago when it was still selling for around $115. Always get these valuable titles sooner than later. This brings my total up to 637 out of 1,795 PlayStation 2 games. One of the games that I had before was not a game, and I decided to go ahead and remove it from my list. That's why it's $17.95 instead of $17.96, but I'm working my way towards that 50% mark. Now, let's see, that would be another 261 games needed. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to complete this collection. So if I tend to add around 20 games per month, that's about 13 months until I hit the halfway point. We'll aim for the end of April 2020, assuming that the Northern Dawn Society doesn't kill me before then. And that's it for my collection update for the month of April 2019. Thanks for watching these videos, and thanks for subscribing. I'll see you next month.